Okay, people, welcome back to another edition of Figure or Fodder, where I quickly go through some of the figures that aren't going to make it to their own features, their own reviews. They may be a little bit older, they may just be reissues, they may not be as exciting as some of the other releases. Plus, it allows me to open up some of the action figures that I've just had sitting around that, you know, need to be open, need to be either put up on the shelf or put in the bin for future customs or future displays, something else. It all works out. First up, recapping the last couple of reviews, I did the Mezco 1/12 Collective Classic Red Skull. Oh my God, guys. If you don't have this, go out and get it. Now, I've heard the black trench coat Red Skull is about to hit. Big Bad Toy Store sent out the notices that it will hit within the next 10 days. If you can, grab that. But if you're able to, which I know it may be kind of hard to do at this point, grab the classic skull. There's no beating this head sculpt. I predict that this will be the head to beat for at least the predictable future. Now, the left foot on mine popped off easily. I'd try to move it, it would come off. But I did fix that by heating up the ankle joint, kind of closing up the socket and letting it cool like that. So it was a little bit tighter on the ball joint. Plus, I gave the Cosmic Cube that came with it a little bit of shit because it looked like a grape gummy. But in actuality, this thing glows in the dark, so it has to look like this. Now, it's not super bright. It's not gonna light your way down, you know, a dark cavern, but it does glow. I mean, if you're sitting in a dark room, you'll look over and see it. But I don't sit in a dark room a lot, so I still would have preferred some kind of clear look here. And then I did a review on the SH Figure Arts Star Wars The Last Jedi Kylo Ren, Praetorian Guard, and BB-8. Now, I tried to fix the Kylo Ren with some heat, heating up the bottom of the neck, try to get that socket smaller, but it's made out of a too hard of plastic. So that's still loose, but I continue to believe that this is my favorite Kylo Ren without the helmet. Mafex still takes the cake on the fully robed, fully helmeted look, but here, I like, you know, the more streamlined look. The Praetorian is cool. I wish the arms were a little bit more like the Black Series. And then BB-8, it's nice, but it's not going to win any awards when compared to the Mafex or even the Black Series. Now, moving on to new stuff, I did get the GameStop exclusive Star Wars The Black Series Inferno Squad Agent. And this is essentially just a rehash of the TIE Fighter pilot we got, when was that? Several years ago? The belt is different to look more like the game, and then there's some colors different, but for the most part, same sculpt. It's got the Inferno Squad emblem on the helmet along with the Imperial cog. It's got some more red on the sleeve, so the paint is nice that's been added to this. But you essentially know what we're getting here. Now, if you played the game, you'll realize that it's not 100% accurate to the look. It's missing the right shoulder pad, if this is Iden, which I'm going to call this one Iden because I've always thought of the TIE Fighter pilot as being a little bit small. So if this is Iden, it should have the shoulder pad on the right side, and it shouldn't have the tubes coming out of the helmet to the chest box. But the chest tubes do come out of the helmet, and if you want, you can cut them off the chest box to make it more accurate. If you have the unmasked Marvel Legends Elektra head from the Netflix series, you can also use that on this body to take it just a step further. And like I said, you can pull the hoses, the head just pops off, and you'll have to bore out the Elektra head a little bit to get it to fit on here. There's no way it's fitting that huge ass mushroom. But for the pictures, I just have that kicked back and sitting on top. And then you'll have to fix the hair and such, but it still works. So this is destined for the shelf. It is a figure, but after it's been foddered a little bit. I think I like the Iden head on it just to differentiate it a little bit from the other TIE Fighter pilot. Moving on to the NECA Alien Covenant Xenomorph. I don't do a lot of NECA and I don't do a lot of aliens, but this was sent to me by the Nerd Store in West Valley City, Utah. I've made some friends. I've been to the Salt Lake Comic-Con a couple of times, met a lot of cool people, and this is no exception here. Now, I did have an older NECA Aliens figure just for the pure hell of it, and I had it crouched down, you know, crawling around. This figure doesn't quite have the articulation of that old one. The hips are a little bit limited. I mean, when you take it up, that's as far as you can get up, and then the head comes down and up to about right there, so you can't really get it down in that alien look. But at the same time, maybe it's like this in the movie because I didn't watch Covenant. I watched the older movies, but then we got to Prometheus and I have no clue what was going on. I just want to see aliens tearing it up and then humans tearing up aliens. That's all I care about, really. I don't care about the history or the mythology or any of that. But cool figures are cool figures. And the sculpt and paint on this figure is what sells it, at least for me. The skull look under the clear dome, the ickiness, yeah, I said ickiness, it just comes out. It's a great, great sculpt. Then there's some washes, some dry brushes. It brings out a lot of the detail. And throwing a shininess over all that, it works. I just wish it would get down more alien-like. So this figure will go in the drawer for now, but it stays as a figure. Only because I don't have an Aliens or a NECA display. Next up is the Toys R Us exclusive Marvel Legends, Dark Phoenix, and Cyclops 2-pack. I actually found this one out of town. I can't even remember where I was. Where was that? Anyway, I found it, I bought it, and then I was still out of town for another week or two. So by the time I got back, I had other new stuff to look at that was, you know, a little bit more exciting than this. But now that I'm opening this, this is pretty exciting. I really, really dig the Dark Phoenix compared to the green, you know, good guy Phoenix that we got before. And it all comes down to the feet. It doesn't have high heels. This one can stand. Completely different from the first one. Now I do have a slight problem with the left leg being longer than the right, but being a female, I'm okay with her kind of posed with her hip jutted out, so not a huge deal there. The red is super nice, the gold looks great, and the big selling point here for a lot of people were the alternate heads. In the package she comes with a translucent hair kind of look, her eyes are whited out. It's that evil Dark Phoenix look, but it also comes with another head that's not translucent, but fully painted, so it's kind of that in-between look. And then it comes with a calm Jean Grey head. All three of these are fantastic. I had a hard time deciding which one I wanted on this body, but the great thing about it, you can go back and improve the first Jean Grey, the green one, by putting, well, any head you want on there, but I prefer the calm Jean Grey look. I didn't care for this figure at all, but the way this changes the look altogether, I kind of like the green. And now I'm having a hard time deciding whether I want green Phoenix or red Phoenix on the shelf. And then Cyclops, I'm just a big fan of Cyclops altogether. Any version, any look, but this is one of my favorites. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and it doesn't fail to deliver for the most part. A lot of people disagree with this, but I think I'd prefer all the Cyclops, to be on the Spider UK body. It's a little bit taller, it's just a little bit thicker, but it still looks slim, which when you think of Cyclops, you think of slim. But they've stuck with the Bucky Cat body because that's what all the Cyclopses have been on. And I'm okay with it because I'm hoping we get a Thunderbird at some point, or I'm going to have to make a Thunderbird, and that would end up either on the Spider UK body or the Reaper body. But I'm hoping they make Thunderbird, especially with him being so prominent in The Gifted, which is a hell of a show. Go ahead and watch that too. Both these figures, shelf-worthy. They're definitely going in the display. I picked up the Bandai America Dragonball Stars Beerus. Now I bought Beerus because I don't have a Beerus. I saw the SH Figure Arts at Toys R Us, but I thought, being Beerus, I can just go with the cheaper option and see how that goes. And I'm kind of happy with this. Sure, it's a little bit lacking. I really wish it had bicep swivels. It would open up a lot of posing options there. But for the most part, it does work out. He's got the drop-down hips. It adds a lot to the articulation. He's not as back-heavy as I thought he would be because of the tail. He actually stands up. The ankles are hidden very, very nicely. It took me a minute to realize the ankle joint was under those rings. And just like any good SH Figure Arts figure, the hands are a major pain in the ass to pull off. I mean, yeah. It takes a lot of force, but I haven't really felt like it's going to snap off. For accessories, in the package he has 2 fists. He also comes with a set of 2 splayed out hands, and then he comes with the Build-A-Figure piece of Shinron and part of his stand. I may get a shot of dull coat to kind of kill that shine on it, but I like the sculpt. It could use a little bit more paint around the nose and the mouth, but otherwise the paint is really nice around the collar thing and then his crotch cover. I don't know what you want to call it, but everywhere else the colors look nice. Comparing it to the Figure-Rise model kits, he seems a little bit small, but I don't think he's any smaller than the SH Figure Arts figure. So this is definitely going on the shelf, at least until they solicit the Figure-Rise Dragon Ball Z Beerus model kit that they teased. Well, it's been a while now. And then finally, the only way I was going to get this thing reviewed, because there's no way this sumbitch is going to fit in my review space, and that's the Toys Alliance MAS-01, I believe. Optimus Prime. Now this is officially licensed by Hasbro, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece. I've been wanting it for a long time, but I put it off, you know. $175, $180 is hard to drop on a single action figure until I was in, again, Salt Lake City and actually played with one, and fell in love. Not to even mention them soliciting the Megatron, so you get the pair, you automatically have to get one to get the other. It makes me want the Optimus Prime even more. Now what we're looking at here is 18 inches of pure Transformers awesomeness. Sure, it may be a little bit small to fit in your 1/12 collection if you're a stickler for that kind of thing, but it does look nice with 6-inch figures. Looks even better with 3 3/4 inch figures, of which I have none. So it's gonna have to look good with 6-inch figures. But you get this, you know, if you want to ride in the carpool lane, or if you want to use it as a blunt object to knock out a burglar, or you just want an awesome action figure. I mean, every knuckle on the hand is articulated. You can open up the fingers all the way. The detents in the, well, there's no detent there, but the detents in the various joints, where appropriate, works out really well. They're kind of tight, but for as big as this bastard is, they need to be tight. You have the flip-up pieces at the waist to get the legs up and out, all the way forward. I'm not going to show you full range because it's a workout just playing with this thing. I'm tired. It has a light up feature in the eyes that just come on with a click of the button. And that's also the same for the little matrix it comes with. Has a click and it lights up. Damn, so awesome. And to go a step further, you can open up the chest, pull this open, and the matrix pops into there. Now, being such a big piece, being kind of awkward because of its size, you do kind of have to avoid pushing on those because they open up. They stay shut. I think there's some kind of magnet mechanism there, but you don't want to get too much on it. I'm afraid the hinges there may snap a little bit. The light up feature in the head is all self-contained, so you don't have to worry about twisting any wires shut, or going crazy with it, breaking something. That'll still work. The gun, it almost feels like a small pistol that you can hold, and it looks absolutely great. But the gun has pegs on both sides of the grip. You just plug that into the hand, and then you can just close the grip, and he's left holding the blaster. Now that I have this in hand, now that I've played with it, I still have to figure out where I'm going to display it, because this thing's definitely going on the shelf. Now that I've done all that, it almost feels like $175, $180 is a deal on this guy. Now I understand the argument of a Transformer that doesn't transform isn't really a Transformer, but I don't look that deep into my toys. I like the character. I want Optimus Prime. But the actual act of transforming it down, I don't really care. And if they never do the vehicle thing, my heart will not be broken. But then again, I'm not a super big, huge Transformer collector. I'm a straight up G1 man, and I haven't bought many of the toys since then, just a few Masterpiece here and there. And it won't hurt my feelings if they stop at Optimus and Megatron, but I also want a Soundwave and Bumblebee. That would finish out my collection here, because what do I have to build on wings for each release of this line? Now I know they put out the Nemesis. I know that because I got the Nemesis. I couldn't help it. Look at this frickin' thing. I don't care about Nemesis, and I still got it because this is so amazing. This has become the figure that if my house was on fire, I would probably run in and get this one. And some of my Star Wars figures. Most of my customs. Some of my Marvel Legends. A lot of the imports. Okay, so if my house was on fire, I would need a big tub or back a truck up to the room. Either way. So there you go, a bunch of toys. Most of them are staying as are, but you know, you never know. In the future, they may release a better version of any of these characters, and these will go in the drawer. That's just how it goes in that action figure game. But if you like figure or fodder, you'd like to see more, throw me a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.